So let's see here. All right, guys. Can you hear me okay? Good. Welcome. My name's Angst. I've seen many of you before. I am an anarchist. I'm just a very long game version of it. I don't believe in short games. Well, I believe they exist. I just don't believe you get anything done in a short amount of time. But anyway, hello everybody. Be here. Let's see here. Neither can they. That might be why they feel compelled to slaughter each other wholesale on a regular basis. To a point, yeah. I guess yeah, that can definitely make sense. I get where you're coming from with that one, Don. I like the music's a little too loud. A little bit. There we go. Okay, so I don't know if you guys were here. Some of you might be. We're here for the last stream on Saturday. Nothing's changed. So for those that weren't or missed that one or skipped it or whatever, or are just watching this for the first time on my channel, for 4 years I was doing a lot of kind of more or less I was being conscientious about certain types of optics things and you know, and the way I kind of presented myself on the channel to a degree, because I've always been kind of a loose cannon at times, but because I was always worried that, like, if I did get the attention of somebody like an academic of some kind, or a researcher or writer, or even a mental health content creator or something that has like a much bigger following, has a much more like sort of a YouTube friendly sort of disposition and stuff, which I do not, you know, that would make them shy away from wanting to work with me or talk to me, or do anything for that matter. So I kind of tried to keep my anger in check most of the time. I actually believed it would be useful. I actually believed it would be the best thing for my channel, for my efforts and what I talk about. I legitimately believed it, and I no longer believe that. That arc has ended. It is over. Now, when it comes to how I deal with the Zoids and how I deal with my server and things like that, that's not going to change. I'm talking about how I deal with the subject matter, how I deal with talking about others that should be discussing it or are presenting it in a really poor way, that could be damaging to getting any of this shit done that I give a fuck about. And so yeah, that is the major thing that's going to change from now on, because like I said, doing it like I've never played very nice, but even cutting back, it seems to have been actually detrimental to my efforts. In many ways, I wasn't being myself. Though part of being myself is tempering certain things for the purposes of wanting to get things that I care about done. But that method is not viable. So, always remember, whatever I say is my opinion that I think is right. But my opinion nonetheless. So, when I said that I can't stand the narrow points of views or point of views of neurotypicals, I absolutely mean it. It is increasingly frustrating. On a local level as well as a more macro level, because as you guys well know, that's where my head tends to be. And I can't help but pay attention to world events, pay attention to people's behavior, pay attention to a lot of things. I really can't control it very well. I don't really, it's not really like a choice I made. Just don't think about it. You know, that meme, just don't think about it. I think J-Reg and others have kind of, you know, mentioned it as more satirically. It's something that I can't do. That is not an available option for me. It never has been. It never will be. And it has been both a boon and the bane of my existence. Now, when is it good? When there are people around that can communicate in a good faith form regarding topics that oftentimes makes others uncomfortable, because it requires them to look within themselves far more than most people are willing to, because it hurts. It's uncomfortable. I'm trying to adjust the volume here because it's still too loud. And so, and because it hurts and because it's uncomfortable, a lot of shit doesn't get done. I think somebody left a comment on the last one that said something along the lines of, what was it? It was about, oh, maybe it's just because people they're not looking to grow a channel or be on things or this or that, and like so on and so forth. It was something along those lines, and that's something I would have been more considerate about before, but I'm no longer going to be considerate about. I just don't give a fuck. I can't stand that someone can go into a profession that is supposed to be dedicated to a specific subject, and then when new information presents itself that's unique and can further things within their own field, it's ignored and it's not discussed because of either their personal psychological quirks or material resource-based hyper-focusing and shit like that. In what ways have you found the velvet glove approach to falling short? I have a particular interest in your observations. It doesn't work because they know they can just ignore you. They know that I'm going to be understanding enough that I won't call them out on their shit when they say something like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to work with you," and I'm talking more when I'm talking like, I'm not talking about people that I know have mental health issues. Like, that is not the kind of people I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that seem well put together and seem competent and seem honest and sincere, and then they just ghost any interest they feigned, maybe, or strung me along with when it comes to the work I do and wasting my time. So for anybody that is that kind of person, if I contact you in the future, it's better if you just shut the fuck up and don't tell me anything. If you're the kind of person that will feign interest in working with me and then just roach out. So if that's your style, just stay the fuck away from me. So it's kind of like that. But because I wasted hours. I was stressed. I wasted just time, effort, everything to get certain things going, to get certain conversations going, to set up certain interviews, to set up certain discussions. And I can't tell you, well, I probably could. I could tell you there are plenty of people out there that will listen to you and pretend like they're interested for civility reasons, to not cause conflict, and a variety of other things that are not my fucking problem. Yeah. And so I've just wasted too much time. I've wasted too much time and spent too much time chasing dragons, essentially. Chasing nonsense. Chasing lies. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just fucking sick of it. Yeah. So, yeah, and I'd be fine if any of the people that have done this, you know, somehow come across my words. To them, you know, fuck you. Simple. Fuck you, you fucking liars. And that's a lot of academics too. That's a lot of academics. They could tell me to fuck off. I prefer if they told me to fuck off. That'd be great. I wouldn't be wasting my time. I would just move on. Much easier. Much easier. I can forgive the Zoids that have done it because, well, they're all fucked up. And I understand why. And I can't resent them for that because I've been in similar places. Meaning the ones that, like, you know, want to help, but then the evolution and the other issues get in the way, and then they just, like, they probably feel ashamed that they didn't pull through what they said they would, and so then they just bail. And they're probably I believe when a lot of schizoids do this, when they get excited about something that involves another person, like working on something, and then they realize it's like they feel like they're out of their depth, and then they just disappear. I feel like, though it's frustrating for me, I think they're beating themselves up over it far more than I could ever beat them up over it. Do you think it's a question of lack of interest or too timid to go beyond their known and their cushy comfort zone? Career security, status? It's probably a lot of those things. Absolutely. That, and of course, you know, like some of the questions I ask and things I'm interested in kind of bring into question ideas that they've kind of held as truths in their mind for like a lot of their career. You know, I might have positions that are a little radical or extremely radical in some ways. And maybe they don't want to be they don't want to be confronted with awkward questions or questions about stuff that they've never really put too much thought into it. Maybe they think I'm gonna like try to make them look stupid. Maybe because I have a very kind of blasé, aloof attitude, they think I'm gonna set them up, or I'm gonna be like, or I'm gonna like, I don't know, try to like be a big boy smarty pants in some way, or out like try to just use rhetoric to make them look like they don't know what they're talking about, and then I'm right and I figured it all out. I don't know what's going through people's head, man. I really can't figure it out. I can guess, but that's all I can do. Like, and like there have been times in the past that I was just really upset about it, and I wanted to just say who it was that was fucking with me, or just full of shit, and I just kind of resisted the urge because I felt like I was being angry and impulsive. And then I always thought about the possibility that, like, oh, what if like one day they do hit me up and say, oh, I'm sorry, I was too busy and I meant to get back to you, and then I burn that bridge, right? I was always worried. I was always worried that I would be burning bridges that could be ultimately helpful to my activism and my advocacy. I thought that would be a bad idea. I thought that would be irresponsible. That, and also thought, well, those are the ways I used to handle certain things, right? When I saw even the faintest hint of disingenuous action, or just people being full of shit, I would burn bridges incredibly fast. Very fast. Especially online, because it's a lot easier. obviously. Ignoring someone can be pretty fucking disrespectful. I get it. I don't care about being ignored more than I care about having my time wasted. Like if somebody said, I'm not interested, I don't want to hear what you have to say, I'd be like, okay, thank you. I'd actually be grateful that they did that, because then I don't waste my time and I don't waste their time. Right? That's why in recent years, and I'm going to keep upholding it, if like even somebody that's interested in working with me, or some Zoid is like, I want to help you, Angst, or something like that, I care about what you're doing, I have this idea from now on, just don't tell me about your idea, just do the thing and then come back to me, because I've had that happen so many times. So I'm just telling any future Zoids that ever think something like that in their head, oh, I'll get to it, I want to help Angst, or whatever, do the thing that you think will help, and then come talk to me. I don't want to hear your ideas about how I could make things better, and how you're going to help. I don't want to hear about that unless you're actually already have something set up to do so. Like you already have something. Because otherwise I spend an hour or two talking to you because maybe you do have an interesting idea that I can't do on my own because I'm very limited in time and energy, because as I've said before, I have a family, 2 children, a full-time job, a wife, and a lot of other responsibilities. I'm also not interested in hearing, I like suggestions, but I don't like hearing, like sort of backseat channel creator person type shit. Like if somebody is already doing something and they found stuff successful or useful, that's good. Tell me about that. That's good. But if you're somebody that's just never done any of this shit, and you're just gonna like tell me about all this cool stuff I should be doing, and then you're not actually offering any like assistance of any kind with how it can be accomplished, I don't care. I don't care about those kinds of ideas. Suggestions for what to talk about, other things like that, that'd be great. I love that stuff. That's good. Personal anecdotes, stories, asking me if you can ever hop on the stream and talk to me, asking me if I could interview you since you're schizoid and you've gone through a lot of shit, or something like that. All that stuff's great. All that stuff's fun. If you have a history of just bailing, just don't bother. And I'm not trying to be just some asshole. It's just you guys have no fucking clue how harrowing this shit has been and disappointing. So how do you think this is the most productive way to get their attention and collaboration? I get the burning bridges concern and it seems valid, but what's the fix? I don't know what the fix is, but all I know is I just got to be myself, and I don't give a fuck anymore. And it all started with this cycle began, and this is what's frustrating too, because like early on when like I got Eleanor Greenberg and Winaric and a few different people, like there was like a nice couple of people that I was, among all the shit that I had to ask and figure out, that I was able to, get to talk with me and do some stuff, and some of them said this and that, and some of that stuff didn't come through or happen for whatever reasons. But the first sign many years ago, my first encounter with absolutely full of shit, fucking faux gives a fuck type content creators was with, and I think a lot of, I don't know, I probably mentioned this once at some point when I crashed out a long time ago, but It all began with what do you call it? Special books for special kids. Fuck that guy. Yeah, just fuck that guy. Because like these, yeah, I mean, this is a very early example, but they heard me out. They heard some of my ideas at the time, which weren't. I was more interested in talking about like the Zoid lived experience and some of the stuff that I think isn't talked about at the time. My ideas are far more developed, but point is, they heard me out. They got on a call with me. They heard me out for like, I don't know, like an hour and a half, and it was all smiles and this is great and I want to work with you and this and this and that. And I'm like, cool, great, that's awesome. It's good to hear these people need this kind of help. And that's a giant channel, and they've had everything from interviewing people with like just ADHD or like dyslexia or depression or anxiety, various different PDs. They've even had sociopaths and psychopaths and shit on there, I think, schizophrenics and like everything you fucking think of. And he even told me, oh man, I had a schizoid that was going to do it, and I was really interested. I actually wanted a schizoid because there was one, and he kind of ghosted, he kind of bailed. But he understood that it was probably due to the condition or the issues itself, right? And they even told me that. And so I was like, I am here, I am ready to talk. Let's go. This is great. You tell me what if you don't want me to use bad language and stuff, I can like not do that. I can keep it more like family friendly. I don't care. I just want to talk about this on a platform that has a lot of people so that I can inform people about some of these like misunderstandings of what a schizoid is, or even for people to find out what the fuck it even is. Most people don't know what the hell it is. You say like borderline, you say narcissist, you say avoidant, you say paranoid, you even say well, basically you say anything that isn't cluster A, and a lot of people will recognize it. So I wanted people to be able to recognize SCPD. And yeah, they set me up for absolute just wastes of time. They said, okay, we're gonna do something on this time. Oh no, maybe not a good time because this or that reason. It was because there were still some minor COVID restrictions and they were waiting. They like to do it in person, but then I saw them doing online ones. But they said to me, I said, I'll do it online, that's fine. But then they said to me, oh, well, I'd rather do it in person because those videos get more attention, and that way the stuff you're talking about gets the attention it needs. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I thought that's a reasonable thing to say. So I said, that's fine, man, absolutely. Let's talk later. And they gave me like a general time, like a month or whatever, when it would be good so that I could hit them back up or so on. And I did. And they gave me some like semi-confirmation, if I remember correctly, and then it was just nothing. It was just nothing. And so I just thought, well, he's busy, right? Or, I mean, they got a lot. This big channel, they travel to different states to talk to people about all these different things, right? And it's not just like kids with like, that, are, had some kind of genetic disorder and then like they made it through life and they're inspirational or whatever. No, he's had adults too. It used to be just kids, but no, he started, by the time I was talking to him, he had already done tons of adults. Let me look at chat a little bit here. It seems like we're getting to the core of some schizoid grievances. I can certainly relate. Damn, I'm surprised to hear you say that about them. LOL, but people are usually not as they present. Never. Did you ever check in on Dr. Becky Spellman? That is her channel name. Maybe Rick Honda? I don't know. I've checked in on a lot of people. I've tried to hit them up on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, wherever they're most commonly leaving a polite comment saying, oh, this subject is tied to whatever I like to talk about. And it would be really cool if we could have a short like text chat or BC or something, like no pressure, nothing. It just even if just having a conversation that could be useful and get their perspective, that would be great. Nothing even has to be recorded or none of that. And anyway, so I don't know, maybe that's somebody. I can't tell you. I can't even keep track of the amount of names I've tried. And it's funny because like I don't badger people. I ask once, I bump it like a month later, and then if nothing happens, I just drop it. The reason that particular guy pissed me the fuck off is because he made it sound like he gave a shit about what it was that I was talking about. And then, like I said, nothing. And then eventually I said, hey, I'm wondering if you're still interested. I'd really like to talk. Like you said you'd be interested in. Nothing. Eventually I think I left like a comment like even more months later, because this was like 3 years ago plus. And I said, hey, this community really could use the attention. I know you've been busy, but I'd really like to do something like you had mentioned. I said it like that in the comments of one of his posts, so that I was hoping maybe that would make him go, oh, okay, well now I have to say something because you mentioned that I said I would and I haven't. And it's been like a year since I said I would. Longer. I think it was like a year and a few months. And essentially, they just ghosted all my and I was, like I said, I was like spamming them or I don't do that shit. That's crazy. And so then, they responded in a comment and a reply, I believe it was on their Twitter. And they said, the special books for special kids person. They said, oh, I'm still interested. I'll be hitting you up soon so we can do something. And I thought, awesome. Like my worst assumptions, that I was actually, trying to be like, okay, Angst, it isn't always like that the person is like that or whatever. And often it's, many times it's not, but in this case I was like really sure that it wasn't. And then that's it. They just did that, and I waited, and nothing. And I even sent a message where we previously communicated like, oh, good, thanks for the comment. Looking forward to hearing from you. And all that was left on, it was just left on red, and nothing. And I thought that was going to be like, I was really pissed about it. I was fucking mad, but I thought, it's just the way of things, big channel, big content creator, massive channel. I thought it was going to be like game changing for my efforts. And he made it sound like it was going to be game changing for my efforts. And it wasn't anything. And so I thought, I didn't let that completely discourage me, obviously, because I kept going for like 3 years after that. And so I thought, well, it's just, it's a one-off. There's going to be other channels that talk about stuff like this that are like smaller, medium, larger size, whatever. And then it's going to be like, it's going to help and it's going to grow. Like I was being hopeful that this strategy of being amicable and agreeable would ultimately benefit, like basically going against my knee-jerk reactions in regards to this. I thought was going to be the best thing because it was the most frustrating thing for me to do, but I'm willing to suffer with it because I thought this is what's good for the effort. But it kept happening. It happened again and again. And one recent, and like I said, I don't care about burning bridges anymore, because I think these people do this often to a lot of people. I think they're fucking scum. I think they will feign interest, and if it's not what exactly they need, they'll just ghost you. They won't say a fucking thing. They'll just bail. Like I said, I wouldn't even be mad if they said, you know what, man, I can't make that happen, or it's not really gonna work for my channel, whatever. I'd be like, I respect that. That's fine. The last one, not the last one, there's been other small, but the last big channel that did that to me was Sisyphus 988, I think it's called. Yeah, Sisyphus 988. 988, right? Yeah, Sisyphus 988. Is it 988? Shit. You know, big philosophy, education, psychology, video essay type channel thing. I'm saying it right? Sisyphus 988. Let's see if I'm crazy. Am I crazy? Hold on. It's a pretty big fucking channel, considering the subject. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. Sisyphus 55. That's what I was thinking. I mixed them up. It's Sisyphus 55. Yeah. And I hit them up on their server. I brought up a certain point because they had talked about a certain thing on one of their video essays, and they rarely but occasionally respond to comments left on their server. And so I left a little paragraph there and said I'd really like it if you talk to me about this. I'd be interested because it kind of lines up with. And at first they were really kind of they gave me kind of like a, it almost felt like it was like, I don't think it was, but almost felt like it was an AI like chat response, because it was just, it was weird. It was like, it was kind of dismissive, but I wasn't gonna, I don't care about that. I was like I just see that as like an opportunity to find a way to explain what they might not be getting about what I'm trying to say, right? So they, you know, they gave me kind of a Redditor response, and I was like, that's fine. And I responded with, oh, you're right about this, and you're actually correct about that, but this and this and that and this and that, and I'd like to continue this discussion. And no, see, that's the thing. Sisyphus 55 is too depressed to be relied on anything, says Shot and X. I understand that, right? But what he did was kind of full of shit, and I'll explain. Oh yeah, it's super unethical. I know. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, but anyway, let me explain. And so he responded, and I got the receipts. Fuck it, I don't care. I don't want to misquote. And by this time, I was just like, this was like another one of the big channels that gave me a chance and heard me out privately, right? I'll just paraphrase. And I told some of my buds about how frustrating this was. Because it was like, it was one of the straws that broke the camel's back. Where is it? It's been a long time. Well, a few months since I bothered sending any kind of a message. Get it. It's really slow at this. Why is it not? Am I stupid? Imagine I got blocked, that'd be fun. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so if I remember correctly, I got sent the friend request. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I accepted it because usually you got to send me one. I don't know why you have to send me one. I don't even have that setting on. But they did, and I accepted it, and I was like, cool. It's Sisyphus 55. I've liked their channel for a very long time. I respected a lot of the videos that put out. Thought they had really important things to say, really interesting things to say. And well, I'm sorry. We can't even see their I don't know if they shut down their profile or that's just me. And they said that they were interested in discussing it further, and they asked me if I had any formal background in research on it. And I explained that I did not, but that I knew people that did and have talked to others that do. And I explained, you know, some of the stuff I've read, what I've gone through, my position. I even explained that I even said, like, I'll be honest, I hope that the fact that I don't have like a specific research degree regarding this is not enough for you to lose interest. But if it is, I totally understand. And I said, and if I can get you in contact with, say, somebody that does have more research so that you can talk to them about it, I was thinking, well, I don't give a shit as long as he's talking about the subject. And that's beneficial, right? If he talks to me, great. It'll be good for what I'm trying to do. And so I explained that. And I'm saying this isn't the last person to do this. This is the last big, like really like bigger channel. This was back in like March or something. No, late February of this year. And then I think a few days later, I bumped it, like, and then I think a week or two later, I just said, oh, just wondering, I know you're busy, just reminding, you said you want to discuss further, because there was no actual discussion. The only thing that was said is that they want to discuss it further, and then there was no discussing it further. And then I ended it, I think it was in end of April. I said, well, if you probably lost interest, and I can respect that. If you ever become interested in the subject again, I am always open to DM. Have a good day, Sisyphus. That's what I said. That was back in April. And I said that because I was actually fucking annoyed, right? Because I've had this happen quite a few times. And I thought, wow, this guy's always come off as pretty intelligent, pretty sincere, cares about certain things. And he never gave me the vibe that they're the type that just like says I'm interested in discussing it further and then just like bails. I'm guessing because he couldn't say I'm like a PhD or something, and so that would be useless. I didn't even care if he did something with me, but you could have just had a discussion, like, and he could have said, oh, that's not really for my channel, or I don't really do or whatever the fuck it is, and I'd be like, that's cool, I appreciate that you, like, you know, discussed it. But now I don't care, and the reason I was like that before is because I didn't want to burn that bridge, just in case, you know. But now it's what, August, so I'm just like, yeah, they just bailed, like they saw, maybe, I don't know what it was, not sure. But I figured, see here, like, I figured, like, you know, 6 months is enough to, like, send a message. So, yeah. And I've had a lot of smaller channels do this to me. Like, I've had everything from channels that have, like, I don't know, like 5K subs, others that have like 10, 20K, others that have, you know, like 30, 40, 50K here and there. Do similar things. From their point of view as a public figure, you were dropped in a tsunami of interactions. Actually, that's what's interesting. He doesn't really do a lot of interacting, Sisyphus 55. No, he doesn't do a lot of interactions in general. So that wouldn't be the case with this person. Because they're generally pretty private. They barely interact at all on their own server and anywhere. Like, and so yeah, I don't think it's not like I hit up fucking Dr. K, you know what I mean? It's not like I hit up fucking Asmongold or some shit. And a lot of the smaller channels do not have a tsunami of fucking interactions. When you have like 20, 30K subs, you don't have a tsunami of interactions. You have like maybe like a few small waves. And I don't understand this behavior. I don't understand this behavior at all. And I feel like their narrow ass perspective, I don't know if they're neurotypical or not, but whatever, just this fucking narrow shit where it's like they just, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. It's like being tossed right back into the original wound of, what do you have to say doesn't matter and you don't exist? Yeah, yelling into the void and hearing out echo. Yeah, that's the thing. I want to be told, I think what you say doesn't matter and you don't exist to me. I prefer to hear that said than have you waste my fucking time. That's what I mean. I would much rather have that. If somebody like Sisyphus said, yeah, man, I'm not interested, I only want to talk to people with degrees, I'd be like, that sucks. All right. And then that would be out of my fucking mind. Like, I would have been totally fine with that. 100%. It's more, for me, Don, it's more the core, I guess, if you want to talk about a core wound, it would be like the core wound of, I'm saying words, and I'm being met with insincerity and misunderstanding of my words and actions, or I'm being lied to, or I'm being led on when it comes to, like, presenting like some kind of good faith interaction with another human being, and I'm just being met with like nothing, or weird reasons that don't make any fucking sense to me. But it's much worse if no reason is given. This isn't an interpersonal relationship. I'm not trying to become friends with these people. I'm trying to get some shit done that is related to some of the topics and ideas that they cover. Whether they're a mental health channel or they are a channel that covers like, things of a similar nature, neurodivergency, things like that. Hey, I'm an old viewer from like 4 years ago. Just came back across your stuff. Sorry to hear the community hasn't got much attention. Some of these old vids really helped me feel not so lost. Yeah, Kitch. And I like hearing that, man. And I'm glad it helped. And I hope it continues to help. But it's just not, that's not what I'm not satisfied with just that. Like, a few Zoids get a little bit of help from watching my videos. Like, that's great, but that's not my more important goal here. My goal is to get people talking about it so that slightly bigger than just you just feeling a little better happens, right? Because that is important, but that's too like micro for me. I want to see more discussion so that it can affect things like how therapy and ideas regarding schizoids and neurodivergent people in general, because like I said, I think every schizoid is neurodivergent, because I think every schizoid is either on the schizo spectrum, macrosociative, or autistic, microsociative. I 100% believe that now. I've talked to, I don't know, I guess at this point I probably talked to more schizoids than, like I said, anyone ever has in the history of the fucking planet, because, and that's fucking horrible, and I fucking hate that's likely the case. That would be a very interesting interview. He's a weird guy, but he's all right. Hey, wait, which guy? Oh, LAHFWF. I don't know who that is. I'll go on anything. I'll just ramble on anybody will take me. I don't give a shit at this point. But I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be fucking me. I'm not gonna be anybody else. I'm not gonna fucking, I don't give a fuck about burning bridges anymore. I'm fucking done. This isn't a money-making venture. In fact, like, I think I've lost, like, Oh no, I didn't really lose a lot of patrons. I only lost one bigger one, I think, recently, but that was because of money issues. So whatever. But point is, it's not really a money-making venture. I'm not rolling the fucking dough doing this. I could be doing other subjects, and I could probably get more traction and get more patrons. Because I'm a nerd, dude. I'm a nerd, and I'm an angry one. And so, like, yeah, I could probably like ramble and rant about all kinds of subjects that people would probably find more interesting in the kind of angry, disaffected, neurodivergent kind of style, I guess. But that's not my goal. My goal is not to become some guy that talks about the things they like, and like, you know, that's not what I want. It's not what I want. I want something productive to come out of it. I don't think every schizoid is near. I'm interested in why you think so. Oh, I've talked about it a million times. It's just I've never. Yeah, I know the distinction you're making. It's like an act of avoidance rather than the acknowledgement of no. Yeah, I don't mind no. I'm cool. I don't care. I'm not bothered by rejection or somebody judging me in some stupid way. That's fine. I don't give a shit. Many times the most influential people on Earth were never recognized in life. They planted seeds and made meaningful connections through a few. Yeah, I want to see if I planted some seeds that are actually useful before I'm dead. I don't need to see them like grow to fruition. I'm not retarded. I don't think fucking I'm gonna like change the fucking world. I'm not some grandiose idiot like that. But I know I haven't planted the seeds that I need to plant. Because no offense, guys, like planting seeds in schizoids, it's not exactly like the most fertile soil. I know, because it wouldn't have been for me if somebody planted seeds in me or whatever. Because what's the likelihood that planting seeds inside schizoids is going to be actionable? Besides, you know, maybe their disposition improves personally, but I doubt I'm going to inspire a schizoid to be like, I'm taking up this, I'm going to be mad too and do things and say stuff and about these things too. Like, I really doubt that. I really, really fucking doubt that. So if I can plant seeds in people that normally don't give a shit about this subject, or do give a shit about this subject, but aren't schizoid, but are in like they have more motivation, and the depression and the apathy and the anhedonia is just crushing them. I think your channel's been very beneficial to me. I think it's just a matter of awareness. That's what I want. I want to increase awareness, and I want to have the hard conversations about mental health, personality disorders, specifically cluster A, and neurodivergency. That's what I want. I want to have those discussions, and I want to have eyes on them, and I want to ask the questions. And no matter how many Zoids feel a bit better about their situation when they resonate with something I'm saying or discussing or have said in other videos or whatever, that's not going to cause that to happen, right? I want the server to do that. I'll be honest. That's what the server is for. That's what I want the server to be. I want the server to be for that. For that, things I've done help schizoids in their lives individually. I wanted the server to be that, and I wanted maybe the opportunity to do some kind of life coaching style shit. I hate that word, but it is what it is, because I'm not a psychologist or therapist or whatever. But God knows I've read enough books and articles and bullshit, and listened to hours upon hours of audiobooks. But point is, that's what the server's for. That's what my kind of, you know, if I could get somebody to be like, hey, I'm going to subsidize you, Angst, and you could just spend, 40 hours a week helping Zoids on a case-by-case basis, I'd be like, sick. That would be like for that. But for awareness and advocacy, that's what the channel's for. I ran away from the server because I crashed out on politics. Politics are always something that a lot of schizoids crash out. Philosophy and politics. It's funny. It's funny. Like the crash outs that happen on our server are like never interpersonal. Almost never. That's never. It's always like some kind of weird, like thing. Like because Zoids do this thing where they have their own version of splitting, where like if they go to a place and that place has a certain kind of vibe or view that runs contrary to their own like oftentimes complicated ethical and moral framework, then like they kind of split on that like environment, and they just jam, they just ghost, they just disappear. And it's funny because like they might have like one or two interactions like that in one channel and be like, this is this kind of server, and it's just it's a goofy thing a lot of schizoids do. I know I've done it when I was younger. I'm in a safe anarchist space. Not really. I don't know how many of the people in that server would consider them. I think most of the Zoids are grillers. I think they're mostly just kind of depressed grillers. They're like too apathetic to even like have a take on political things, or they just go like, it's all shit, it doesn't matter. Like they're oftentimes too nihilistic to give a shit about politics, which is really annoying, because it affects like even their very, very isolated hikikomori style lifestyle. It's still going to affect it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty unhappy when it does, because you know they're going to be like forced out of their caves and their comfort zones, and it's going to drive them nuts, and it's going to like be really bad for the mental health. But like, you know, it's being caused by external events that they don't have an interest in because it's all poopy and bad, whatever. See here. What outcome do you expect to eventually develop from the siege you plant? I'm trolling because I know you're not. Real anarchists are way more schizoids. Okay. Let me see here. What was I saying? No, there was the thing. Oh, the outcome of the seeds I plant? The outcome? This music's too loud. It's distracting me, and I really like this song. That's why. They're like different versions of the same song because of the way it's from. This is the OST from the game Slay the Princess. It's a very good game. It's more of a visual novel, but it's a very good visual novel. If you keep it narrow up, it's no, the seeds. Okay, so like seeds I would want to plant would be I don't know, let's just say a really big channel gives me a chance, right? Let's just say a giant channel about mental health, like fucking Healthy Gamer or something, gives me a fucking chance, gives me like fucking 20 minutes or something, right? And you know, for something like that, I would come far more prepared than just ramble. But let's just say something like that happened. The seed I would want to plant is it would find more Zoids out there in the wild that would find the server, and that's good. So that's fine. It would get people within their larger community maybe discussing it amongst each other because it was a video. It might create discussion amongst people that don't have this condition, don't have this issue. No, I'm not going to remain composed. I'm done. Withers, I already talked about that. Like I explained, like when I said that arc's over, it's over. That arc is done. It's not, it hasn't helped shit. And, but yeah, so. No, see, that's the thing. I'm not aiming for that. I don't care anymore. I don't think that's going to help. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Because I can't even get fucking channels that are much smaller that say they're going to work with me to like actually do it. Because I guess just the YouTube world or whatever is just full of a bunch of disingenuous pieces of shit that just say they're going to do things and don't do them. So I'm guessing it's more along those lines. So yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm done wasting my time trying to suck the right dicks. Let's see here. I give a shit about politics, but that is all it's worth, is a steaming pile. Yeah, it is a steaming pile, but it's a steaming pile you have to keep your eyes on. Yep. It's a steaming pile, but it's our steaming pile. But yeah, like, but point is, yeah, if somebody that big, yeah, prepare, and then the seeds I would want to plant would be, yeah, like getting the discussion going amongst normies and shit like that. Getting other neurodivergent people of influence to talk about it, right? Getting audiences and other larger kind of neurodivergent influencers to mention it to those content creators, and then just have a general discussion increase on the subject. And then maybe that may inspire an academic to look into it more that is younger and is interested, or that may inspire a schizoid out there to feel like, wow, okay, things are actually being discussed on this. Maybe I should, you know, talk about it myself on a public, you know, even if I do it anonymously on the internet in a video, or I would hope too that it would create like some kind of like conflict with like people that disagree with me, that think that my ideas are stupid and bad, and so then I can have a discussion with them about why they think that. Yeah, it would be cool if it happens one day, though. It does seem like a small chance. Well, see, this is the thing. I think I increase my chances if I'm myself, and I'm just kind of, as I like to word it, a good faith asshole. Meaning, like, as long as stuff remains good faith, I won't be an asshole. But the moment it does, I'll start being an asshole. Yeah. Good to hear, Saren, but I'll see, that's the thing, like I was saying earlier, I'll let you, if you want to help, think of something that you think you could do to help, and then tell me how you think you could do it, or how you want to help, and then do it. That's what helps. I've just had a lot of conversations with people that say they want to help, but they're too like mentally not doing so good to actually be able to help, and then I get like a big old apology because they feel ashamed about it, and I can respect that, and I don't need the apology. But it's not. It's still sadly it's still a waste of time for me. You know what I mean? It's still a waste of time. Like getting somebody to show, I want to help, and then like they don't, and then they feel bad, and then they send an apology. Like reading the apology, hearing them out, and then ultimately not culminating into it, it's a waste of time. It's kind of a waste of time. I know it sounds crass, it sounds like whoa, what a dick, but you got to think, like, man, I don't have a lot of time. I can't be spending it hearing like sob stories and promises. I doubt many people think your ideas are stupid or bad. Well, if they don't, I don't understand why they don't follow up, and why they don't why they just leave the shit I send on read. In a combination of those kinds of things. I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know what's wrong with them. I wish they would tell me there's something wrong with me. That'd be easy. I can manage that. They call me the Hulk because I'm always angry and I just want to smash. Hard to compete with BPD and MPD and pop psychology feeding frenzy. I made a small splash in a comment forums by drawing on similarities in the architecture. Yeah, of course, within some of those communities, if you tie it to their problem, they all of a sudden interested. Yeah, of course. I wonder why. I wonder why there's so many like semi big channels that talk about schizoid stuff that like in passing, and because they're conflating it or correlating it with NPD. I wonder why. So funny. It's so funny that a lot of like outwardly NPD channels that discuss it, they do this thing where, and it's not just for schizoid, they do this thing where they like almost start like eating up other conditions and try to like put it within the framework of being a narcissist. Oh man, it happens a lot, like so much. And it's just, I mean, I think ultimately it's just a not a symptom, but it's just another element of their NPD manifesting in this kind of intellectualized way, in which they're like framing other things that have no business being categorized in conjunction with NPD at all. So, and I think that's what's happening there. Their NPD is, they're being NPD on their NPD. They're being NPD about their discussions about mental health and neurodivergency and things like that. And like they might not be realizing it. Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, like there's just a lot of bullshit out there. What if it's not stupid or bad, but foreign and unrelatable? Yeah, see, foreign and unrelatable, if you have intellectual curiosity, then you should be able to bypass that. But I guess these people don't have intellectual curiosity. They're just a bunch of fucking grifters. So I guess, yeah. Yeah, so maybe it's that. I don't know. My intellectual curiosity tends to make me look at things that are foreign and uncomfortable. I don't shy away from things that are foreign and uncomfortable. Because my intellectual curiosity is strong enough to want to just deal with it anyway. Let's see here. What if it's... But yeah, the other thing I was going to mention is don't overextend. Gotta try to delegate. Yeah, well, there's no one I can delegate to. The only people I can delegate anything to is server related. As in, like, you know, the awesome mods and stuff that I have that actually, like, do shit on there and everything. And have been around and have helped and contributed. And also, I've delegated income related things because of Zoids that contribute, that, you know, they generally remain, they want to remain unknown regarding that stuff. It's not like something they want me to do shout outs and call outs and shit like that. But yeah, like, I can't delegate any of the channel stuff. I can't, because I don't have money to pay somebody. And unfortunately, like, that's one of the curse of the subject is, like, if I was like doing a BPD, NPD, even ABPD channel, and I was like, I had this kind of demeanor and I had just, I guess, whatever the reason some people listen to me. The thing about those communities is those communities probably have a lot more drama, but they probably have people that are a lot more actionable. Like, they'll actually, like, they'll do things, like actively do more things. So yeah, that's like the problem. I can't really delegate much because, like, Zoids don't really want things delegated to them. Like, there's not a lot of volunteer work going on here. Yeah, well, who am I going to delegate it to, man? People that you delegate things to, you have to pay, or they have to be motivated by your interests that align with their interests. And I have a lot of people in my demographic whose interests align with mine interests, but it's not gonna make them do stuff. They're not gonna do stuff, or they're gonna be thinking like, oh, I won't do it right, or oh, it's just gonna end bad, or oh, I don't know, whatever thoughts they're thinking. Or they're just like, I don't have the energy, I'm too depressed, I'm too apathetic. And like, I get that, but like, I'm depressed and I'm apathetic and I'm frustrated, but I guess I got that ADHD dog in me, like I mentioned before, that makes me do shit anyway, like a fucking sucker. So Vacuum is the poster child on that account. He provides some good info, but it's all through his NPD tunnel vision. Yeah, that's why it's pointless to get your information from that guy when it comes to schizoid stuff. It's like, You might as well just go to, like, I don't know, Schizoid Vision's channel. Like, if you want just like the textbook kind of literature stuff, like, just go to her channel. Fuck Vatkin. Go watch her channel. Go listen to a schizoid talk about schizoid shit. Not some fucking guy who is already has a history, and I won't get into it once more, of being an absolute fucking dog shit person. You tell me Faction Shadow House can't take a simple task, emailing people or whatever. Nah, they're already helping. That's the problem. Why the fuck am I gonna make? They're not my employees. They're already helping with what they help. I'm not gonna be like, hey guys, here's your no paycheck. Like, you guys are all working and dealing with your own fucking lives, and I need you to do more shit for me. I'm not gonna spread them thin. I want them doing what they do best, and then do it. I don't want to spread them thin. That's crazy. I'm lazy as fuck, dog. I'm not gonna lie. We'll only do free work for teaching morality or preserving information. That's fine. Yeah, at least you're upfront about it. Like, that's cool. Oh no, they're helping because they're moderating the fucking server. Hausa isn't, but Hausa's much too depressed, and they're struggling with certain things. But they help in certain ways too. Like, Hausa has occasionally timestamp stuff for me and sent me like the timestamp things, and then I put them under my video, or I pinned their comment that had the timestamps for the channel, like what the stuff I talked about. Like, House has done that, dude. If every Zoid did just a little fucking thing like that, I would make so much progress. Like, even if it was like, oh yeah, Angst, I'm gonna post links to your videos in this one place, or oh hey Angst, I'm gonna like clip some of the streams that I think have good stuff, and then I'm gonna like upload them on a different channel, or I'm gonna send them to you and you have to upload them. And I'll be like, all right, that's fucking awesome. That's fucking useful. Hell yeah, let's go. You know, shit like that. But or oh hey Angst, I dropped links, you know, of your shit on the Schizoid Reddit when it's relevant. Oh sick, thanks guys. Because if I do it, then, like, I don't know, they get weird about it because they think I'm just like shilling or something myself. And so, like, if other people, if other Zoids go on the Schizoid Reddit and go, hey, this guy Schizoid Angst, he said some really good things, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put him on here. Hey guys, hey fellow Zoids on the Schizoid Reddit. Like, if they were doing that shit, damn, that shit would be fucking astronomical amount of help. But I don't think most of y'all gonna be doing that, or care to, or whatever. And I can't even resent you for it, because I understand. Like, I understand why it's too, right? I get it. But still, like, it's shit I need done. There you go. Go ahead, Winners. But I need, like, you know, just like, when you guys see something that you liked, timestamp, use the YouTube timestamp. They have a little thing where you share and you click timestamp the video, and then, like, if you put it and then the people click on it, it starts the video right there. Do that and post that. If I say something you think is important or relevant or relatable about a certain stuff, you could be like, oh yeah, this Angst guy said this and I find it relatable, and then you put it on the Schizoid Reddit, or you put it on a different mental health server, or you put it in a comment, like, say somehow the topic comes up, right? Like, for example, like, at that one time, the one fucking recent time that Dr. K and stuff, I don't know if it was a live stream or not, but talked about schizoid shit, right? Like, they mentioned it in regards to, like, talking about avoidant stuff, and it got brought up, like, about differences and stuff. Like, if somebody in chat, there was like 2 of you in chat going like, oh yeah, you should check out Schizoid Angst. Yeah, Schizoid Angst is cool. Check him out. He talks about shit. Fucking real shit. You know? What does success look like for you? Would this be a topic to run a podcast, essayist discussion, or how it fits in the social context of RBSI and extra? Does it escape YouTube? I don't care where it goes. I just need to go somewhere, Shad. That's what success looks like. That I see that there's people hitting me up going, hey, I'd like to talk to you, Schizoid Angst. Or, oh, I'm down to do that collab. Talking about it. Because I guarantee you, it's fucked up, but I guarantee you if this, like, if the schizoid thing was even a little bit more in the zeitgeist of, like, mental health, neurodivergency sort of, like, circles of discussion, and then I would stand out a little bit more, and then if I hit them up, they're likely to be more willing to be like, oh yeah, I heard about the schizoid thing. Oh yeah, what's this guy about? And then that's how I get people to give a fuck. Wait, you have to activate a lot of sometimes neurotypical neurons to get them to listen to you. Because if I'm only activating the neurons inside of fucking schizoid heads, it's not going to get me the traction I need, because I doubt there's a lot of schizoid content creators, influencers that have a lot of reach. Let's just say, right? I'm like one of the few people advocating for this topic is like I do, and I haven't even hit 4K subs. I can't even, because the only people joining are likely just schizoids, right? Because I'm not getting the reach. I'm not getting the reach I need. And it's partially because my demographic is not exactly the kind that does reaching, right? Like if I was like I said, if I was doing something that involved people that had an issue that, you know, it didn't, like, it caused some other types of issue or something, I bet if I did, like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, those people will probably be like just essentially advertising what I'm doing because they want more people to see what I'm saying or hear what I'm saying, right? Or they would probably be more involved in groups and friend groups and online discourse and shit like that, and so they would be more actively bringing stuff up that they find interesting to other people that don't know about the thing. So that's part of the curse of the subject. Oh, that's Schizoid Universe channel? Yeah. The topic is definitely very insulated. The only people that will find you are those that are looking, and those that are looking, once they find me, are going to be like, keeping that in here. That's what they're going to do. They're going to be like, never telling us a single other soul. Just gonna, that was useful to me. I hope he succeeds. Cool channel. Too bad I don't talk to anybody or post things anywhere. You know what I mean? How is a schizoid relevant for normies? In an aspect of loneliness epidemic, individual atomization, destruction of the family. Yeah, there's ways to integrate. Yeah, there's ways to bring that shit up. There's like a lot of ways to bring this shit up. There's a million fucking ways. It's so easy. You know what context it can be brought up in that I think is like more wide scope, but still not super wide scope, but like more like within the kind of neurodivergent circles? It would be what I talk about, which is, I think, a lot of what schizoid is a traumatized neurodivergent kid, and some neurodivergent kids that are traumatized by living in a very neurotypical designed world react to it differently. Some become more anxious and agreeable. Some become yes men because they're scared. Some become avoidant and terrified of physical harm or consequences, and others become emotionally detached, disconnected, and you know, and the rest. It's just one of the ways that we do it. And so talking about why don't neurodivergent people have their own branch of psychological inquiry and discussion? Why are we treating depression and anxiety in an autistic or schizospectrum person the same way we would a neurotypical person? That doesn't make sense. That's weird. Huh. Oh, by the way, schizoid is one of those, I think. I if you agree with me, schizoid is one of those things. What's a schizoid? Oh, it's a person that is. And And so normal therapy and CBT and a bunch of other stuff doesn't work for them, because the way they're experiencing it and the way it is very kind of odd and eccentric, and cluster A. You could even bring it into just the cluster A conversation in general. You could even bring it into schizophrenia conversations, where you could be like, oh, there's a group of people that don't have positive symptoms in psychosis, but they tend to show a lot of the negative symptoms of usually associated with schizophrenia. Like shit like that. I would think nearly all get some emotional detachment. Yeah, some. Not like this, though. Not like this. Not like this, Withers. But yeah, sure. Yeah, hook it up to mainstream topics. Sure. But if I'm the one just doing it, that doesn't help. Nobody's going to watch it. I could, like, connect this shit to whatever fucking major trend is being talked about right now. And that's not going to grow my channel, because the only people watching are mostly going to be Zoids. And I need my own audience to help me grow. Because it's like this is, I understand it takes a village. I wish I could delegate more to my audience. But it's not really something that's likely going to happen. It hasn't happened for 4 years. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon. So I've been trying to figure out for years how to activate Zoids. I want to make them angry too. I can be angry for you guys, because I know a lot of you guys can't really express anger too well, or are angry but just are so resigned and given up and whatever, too tired, too whatever. Like, I get that. I can be angry for you. I love being angry for you. It's just that me being angry by myself doesn't do shit. It just makes my mental health decline and my channel not grow. That's literally what it does. And then eventually I just like lose my fucking mind, and I have to take like fucking bail or something for like a few years and hate myself for it, because it's like one of the few things I've ever cared about this deeply in my life. Very few things. So yes. So if you can do something, do it. You got money? Thanks for the money. You got some fucking boards or Telegram channels you can post my shit in? Do it. Thanks there, buddy. I find Schizoid to be very interesting. It's just not as damaging as BPD and MPD. That's the fucking problem, dude. Like, girl, that's the fucking problem, because like, you fucking like, we're low splash. Greenberg said it. Low splash condition. I always love that term because it makes so much sense. We're not high splash. The way I like to word it, because I'm a fucking nerd, is we're very like, we're not AoE damage. We're like single target damage, but unfortunately the target is the caster. You know what I mean? Like that's if we're wizards, we can cast really, really powerful spells that can only target us. A lot of other personality disorder issues and stuff like that, they tend to have bigger splash AoE damage. They do a lot more AoE damage, right? And so people notice them because they're causing AoE damage, and so the AoE damage is more. It's easier to sensationalize, which I don't think it should be, but it's easier to sensationalize. It's easier to create both a demographic of people that like feel like they're victims of it, a demographic of people that feel like they're misunderstood, and but they're like socially active enough that they get together and talk about it and do something about it, right? So yeah, like it's just funny because the difficulty of trying to do something about this on a more macro level, even like medium, is it feels like just a more meta version of what the individual schizoid is enduring, trying to get themselves out of the apathy, out of these things. Like it's like this is just a macrocosm of that micro individual experience, and I'm fucking feeling it. You know what I mean? And it's especially rough because like you know, I've overcome a lot of this stuff. My emotional detachment is a lot less, right? I can feel my range of emotions. And it's not really like, I don't know. The irony is this: had I not placed so much value in this effort and what I'm trying to do and talk about, I would probably be a lot more mentally healthy, because I've overcome certain things and I can like be more mentally healthy about a lot of other stuff now, like more ego-syntonic, more like developing a stronger understanding of self, and giving like seeing how I can interact with the external world in a real way. Like I'm able to do that stuff, yeah, but other portions of my brain, like the more schizoid parts and that want to do something about something that I feel I can help and I can do, I'm just like, I'm still not, that's not going to stop. I can't stop this. If I stop this, it's funny doing this. And this it's funny because I mentioned, but the Sisyphean task, it feels like, is still a slower descent into depression and madness than were I to give up doing it. So I'm like, rock hard place. You know what I mean? If normies magically understood schizoid, what would that change? Okay, well, if it changed the minds of academic research, university creating normies, therapy practicing type normies, to reconsider how not just this PD is approached, but how neurodivergent psychology is approached, yeah, that would help a lot of fucking schizoid. That would help a lot. That would help a lot of these people in a very real and somewhat systematic way. Yes, it would help. Yes, it would be nice for a schizoid to go to a psychologist and they know what it is, and there's a book that would help them know how to treat it and practice it. Yes, that would be really helpful for the zoids in the world, even the ones that don't ever find my channel because no one's watching it. Got to get outside of the mental health orbit. One thing I do wear my Zoid badge is astrology and other esoteric forms. It may not do much, but it's a boot print on foreign soil. Yep, I'll take it. Plus, I like that stuff too. I'm not a big astrology guy, but I am a esoteric guy. I'm very interested in that sort of stuff. Yeah, but killing the caster hits other people indirectly. Yeah, but it's like, it's still really low AoE damage. They won't even, it's so low they won't even recognize where it came from, maybe. That's why you have like people like Hikikomoris that like people don't find out they're dead like until months later, and the apartment stinks. Yeah, like, you know, discovering that your unknown neighbor died and you smelled his decaying corpse. Yeah, that would be like uncomfortable thing to go through, but it's yeah, it's not as highly damaging, I would think, at least on a bigger scale. You want to involve people more. Part of the reason I fell out of the community before was because it felt more like a discussion board than a place to do things, if that makes sense. I get that, but like, how do I get them to do things? If I like, dude, I could be like, hey everybody, come join me and let's have a big old discussion and talk about stuff and be more active and play video games and like all this shit. Like, that would probably make a lot of Zoids just run, or they just wouldn't care, or they would just be like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then that would be it. Like, I've tried little things in the past before, where I want the engagement. Like one thing that I tried, but it didn't go anywhere. It just didn't go anywhere. And I thought it was such a good fucking idea, and I would love to bring it back, but it just went nowhere. Because I wanted to do something to sort of enrich what schizoids often do privately, and that's creative works, right? A lot of schizoids like to draw, they like to do music, they like to write poetry, they like to do research about stuff, they like to be knowledgeable about this and that, and they do all kinds of art, but they generally don't let it see the light of day, right? And so I wanted to do a thing called Art Hedonia. I thought it was a really clever name. I like it. Art Hedonia. That's a fun fucking name. Tell me that's not a fucking genius ass name for a videos about schizoid art and in relation to their experiences, and like to combine their art and how their experiences kind of shape that art to a certain degree, how it gives them a way of expressing, even if, you know, like, and it's called Art Hedonia. Come on, that's at least that's a $5 idea right there, folks. That's a $20 idea. So be more like PewDiePie, but PewDiePie's just himself. I mean, that's why I used to watch it, especially in the later years when people were like mad at him for dropping gamer words, because he just got like fed up with certain things and he just became kind of more himself and more himself. Let me see here. If you what's cool? I don't get the name. What sounds cool as hell? Did I miss something? I don't know. But yeah, but like Art Hedonia, and I tried. I even said, like, I even tried to say, like, anybody who's an artist and, you know, a Zoid, and let's do videos where, like, I can invite you on, and if you want to just do text only, that's cool. I'll just talk and I can show that whatever you're saying in chat on the channel, and then you can like talk about your like I could see your art for the first time ever. I'll see like hints of it before. I'll see like one or two of your pieces, and then that when we do the thing, I'll see more pieces that I've never seen, and I'll just react to them candidly. And because I get really into art, I'm really into art of almost any kind, and media in general. And then if I can ask questions about, like, or they can interact with me about like my thoughts on it and stuff, and like they could tell me some a little bit of background about like what why they painted or wrote or created or did what they did, or are interested in that and are doing that project or whatever it is, right? And then that might inspire other schizoids to want to try shit themselves, and so on and so forth, right? But the problem is, I think I did like 2 or 3 videos like that. They're probably some of the least watched videos I ever put out, and on top of that, it was so hard to get anybody to participate, that it just kind of died. It just dead in the water. Sucks. I was really hyped about that idea, and I have a lot of ideas like this, but they don't work. I shit myself without trying. I don't know what that means. That's your art. That's like your talent there with it. So you shit yourself without trying. Let's have it. Tell us about how you shit your pants. When you draw with your poop. I saw a couple of those. I thought it was cool. I'm glad you thought it was cool. Not enough Zoids thought it was cool, and not enough Zoids were interested enough, or if they were interested, they were too uncomfortable with the idea of doing it. So I've had a lot of ideas like this in the past, especially. I kind of gave up on that stuff because I spend a lot of time and effort coming up with them and how to approach them, and then like recording it and then putting it out, and then it doesn't get and that's another issue, right? No engagement, very little engagement on my videos, comments wise and stuff, because of obvious reasons. So it's rough. It's rough out there, guys. So anyway, yeah, those people that said they would work with me that are not mentally unhealthy to a significant degree. Like there's like content creators that are like schizophrenic and stuff, and they kind of said they were interested, but then like it just didn't pan out. But man, they're schizophrenic, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're going through their own hells. I'm not gonna be like, you're you know. Oh shoot. All right. But anyways, all right, I gotta go to this. My girl's here and I gotta go. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. And as usual, when day is dark,